Local Natives, Breakers on Six Music. Before that, The Fall and Victoria. Morning.
Hey, how you doing, Edith?
How are you doing?
You got to say my name.
Adam.
Yeah, very well, thank you, Edith Bowman.
Adam Buxton. Good week.
Yeah, very well, relatively good week. I was just in front of the computer trying to do my song for Song Wars. What about you? How long did it take you to do yours?
Not appreciated the pressure.
It's a nightmare, isn't it? It's a living nightmare.
Why have we done it?
That's why Cornballs jumped ship and went to Hollywood. He was fed up of doing Song Wars.
Easier writing scripts for Spielberg than a Song War.
I tell you, less revisions probably. Stop it! What?
But yeah, because you were quiet on Twitter at the start of the week, so I was a bit worried about that, and then suddenly you
Head
appeared.
down.
And we're like, oh, it's rubbish!
Well, Thursday, I completed it. I finally completed it on Thursday. We're going to unveil our Song Wars songs, listeners, incidentally, later on in the show. I would say sometime between 10:30 and 11. And they are about hotels. We set ourselves that topic a few weeks back. Sorry, I sprung it on Edith, apparently. But I was confident that she would have the chops because I know she's a great singer. I've seen her on TV singing Venus by Bananarama.
Oh, you said you would never mention that.
Who did Venus originally? It wasn't Bananarama. Was it Shocking Blue or something?
Something like that, yeah.
And so I know you're one of the best singers in the UK, if not the world. And also you are married to a talented
Not married,
musician.
we live in sin. Remember that. Please stop.
I'll never get
saying
that right.
Yeah, never.
It's as if I can't believe that people don't get married. Even though...
How many times do I have to tell you?
Even though no one really gets married anymore. And if they do, they just get divorced after about 5 years.
That's why we're not married.
So, yeah. Anyway, so your husband is a brilliant musician. And so has he given you any help?
A little bit.
I hope so, yeah.
But he's given me help with a twist in that he wants something in return from you.
Ooh.
So I'll tell you about that when we do Song Wars.
Mate, okay.
Yeah.
And I will do my best. Last week you brought in a jingle for Brian Eno, and you made me a mixtape, both of which I was pretty brutal
threw
about.
Down and stamped on, basically.
Yeah, I was very rude. And throughout the week people have been tweeting saying, yeah, it's bullying in the workplace, someone said.
Jinglegate!
Jinglegate, and basically just rude. Especially as last week the topic for our memory bank chat point was rudeness. I sort of ended up
embracing it
very boorishly and rudely, for which I apologise. But you better brace yourself because it's going to happen all over again.
Oh, what?
I'm joking.
Well, it's funny because I want to talk about your mixtape that you gave me. The real, because you made me an actually really lovely lullaby mixtape.
Yes, to say sorry for the shouting one and for the rudeness.
Which I've listened to loads this week.
It's good, isn't it?
It's been my soundtrack for the entire week. So.
I made Edith a mixtape for her, or mix CD for her unborn child, and indeed for her child that exists.
And for me.
And for you. And for anyone who just, if you want some quiet time, some special Edith time, if things are getting on top of you, you can just go into a room, turn the lights out, cover yourself in margarine, and this is what I do.
I now have the framed picture of you on the front cover by my bedside as well, just to help me sleep at night.
Quite right. As David Bowie, I was, photoshopped my face into the cover of Young Americans, which is a very sexy image.
Sultry.
What's your favourite song on that mixtape then, on the CD?
I really love the Travis Humpty Dumpty song.
Yeah, that's a nice version,
really,
isn't it?
really nice. And I love the Beach Boys track as well.
Yeah,
which is very good. But it goes a bit weird.
It does go weird.
I'm going to do this with you now, actually, because it's just go a bit. So it starts off brilliantly. It'd be like, oh yeah, can feel this, kicking my shoes off.
Yeah.
Just kind of relax a bit, and there we go. Yeah,
it's a lovely song.
Love this. And it continues in this sort of vein. There's some really nice choices. A bit of John Lennon in there.
Yeah, beautiful boy, darling boy.
Yeah, gorgeous. However, in the middle, it goes a little bit weird.
Brian Eno.
I kind of felt like
and Daniel Lanois.
I was about to enter some kind of therapy room for a massage.
This is very new age, isn't it, this one? But I mean, it is from a classic album, Apollo, Atmospheres and Soundtracks.
And there's more. Did feel like I needed someone to give me a bit of reflexology.
Yes, I could come in and give you a sensual massage, rub some stones on your face.
And
this is Cornelius.
And then we went total, like, hippie.
Oh, you can't argue with Sakamoto.
It's like plinky plonky whale music.
It is sounding massively whale music-y, isn't it? Yeah.
But then you came back round again towards the end, so it's absolutely fine. But it reminded me of this time that I went for a float in a float tank. Have you ever been for a float in a float tank?
I never have. Always wanted to.
Okay, well,
but I'm frightened that if I did, I would transform into an earlier primeval version of myself, as in Altered States.
There's one thing I want to do. Maybe if you go for a float, I'll do this to you. Because they play that type of music in the background whilst you're lying there in salt. And with this kind of really kind of mental mood music, is to change the music. So you're lying there, you've got Sakamoto on in the background, you're totally relaxed, out of body experience. Then suddenly the music changes. Would you be freaked out?
Well, I suppose if there was an actual shark in the tank, I would. Yes, I would, because that would be awful. Even if it was a small shark, I'd be upset.
That bit would get me. The little trumpet would get me every time.
Well, I'm glad you've been listening to it, and that's made me think differently about my music choice. It's the first time that I've spoken to someone about that particular selection of music.
Really?
Yeah, because I've made the compilation for people before, but never actually discussed it with them. And it is true that it is quite new agey in sort of a pathetic way.
I imagine you in a kind of karate-style pyjamas wandering around the house listening to it.
That's what it's like, yeah. I tried to play that kind of music to my wife when she was giving birth to our third child, and she screamed at me to turn it off. So maybe there's something in that. Anyway, listen, we're going to tell you more about what's coming up in the show.
Yeah, and what happened to the Bears this week as well, which is very exciting.
Bears, it's extremely exciting. Everyone's been talking about it. But right now, here's a track that's been chosen by Power Gold. Power Gold is the name of the computer that chooses the music on this show and some other 6 music shows. And Power Gold's done an amazing job to select this one by Gil Scott-Heron.
Love. Great tune. Gil Scott-Heron, Lady Dane, John Coltrane, father of Robbie.
As selected by Power Gold, some music computer here at the Big British Castle. I've selected some very exciting tracks for the show today. Hope you'll enjoy them. It's a nice bit of Gil Scott-Heron, Lady Day. So who was Lady Day?
No idea.
She was a jazz singer, wasn't she? I think she was the lady that sang Lullaby of Birdland.
Okay.
Is it Lullaby of Birdland? I'm getting all my facts.
Not Lullaby of Broadway.
No, something of Birdland. Come on, help us out,
Nest
6
of
music
Birdland.
listeners. You know this, right?
Yeah, come on, of course you do.
I mean, obviously we could Google it, but that would involve some
computers,
energetic typing, which I just don't have the energy for.
We've got to say a massive thank you to Ryan. Is it Ryan Bayliss, who is a very talented artist who makes comics and things of such, and transformed our bears into cartoon characters this week. So they've spent their life this week in a cartoon, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
They're amazing. And
so good.
He's a very talented illustrator or cartoonist, whatever you want to call him. He lives in the Ipswich area, which is my wood neck.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, maybe I'll see you.
You guys could hang out.
Yeah, well, I'll wave at you as the train goes past, because I'm not getting out at Ipswich. No, it's a great place. Ipswich, always fun people get on the train whenever it goes past Ipswich. And maybe, Ryan, I'll see you sometime. But wow, it's brilliant. Thank you so much, man. And what we've done is we have voiced the action in the cartoon, and it is going to be chopped up by the online team and uploaded to the 6 Music Facebook page.
And the website, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
bbc.co.uk/6 Music.
That's going to happen sometime today, I think.
I think it is, yeah.
It's exciting.
So good. He's also drawn me with a jumper on that I'd actually quite like the actual real life jumper. So if you can knit as well.
Yeah.
There, Ryan, I'd really...
They are very flattering renderings of both of us, actually. I look incredibly sexy.
Amazing girth on your beard in this.
I know, he's made me look like a sort of rugged, lean mountain
kind of Mark
man.
Ruffalo type, sort of Hulk type
I wish I looked like that. So I
wish I could draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish you could too. That's one of the many things, Edith,
you wish I could do.
That I wish you could do. Later on, we're going to be finding out if writing songs is one of them.
Oh, no.
That's coming up.
So
Song
scared.
Wars. Our first Song Wars battle, me and Edith, will be between 10:30 and 11 here on the programme. We also have Made Up Jokes coming your way after a successful, triumphant return last week of Made Up Jokes.
Yeah, a memory bank as well on the way today.
Yeah, all that to come.
I'm going to play you a track now, which is in no way reflective of my song for Song Wars today. It's just a track I heard this week and I was like, got to get that in on the show today. Big fan of Grandaddy. Not sure what they're doing at the minute, if they've got any new music planned or what. I hope so. But this is AM 180 from Grandaddy on 6 Music.
That's Sugar Plum by Eugene McGuinness. Very nice, enjoyed that. Haven't heard that before.
It's quite David Byrne's in the way he sings. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, the sort of high register there, whatever you want to call it. Billie Holiday.
There we go.
Is what Lady Day
Lady Sings the Blues.
Also known as. And she did sing Lullaby of Birdland. Yes! Hey, how you doing, listeners? Adam Buxton and Edith Bowman here with you on a Saturday morning on 6 Music. I just went to use the facilities.
Ooh, and
I was looking for my friend, the hair that has been there for the last few weeks dangling from the cistern. I put a picture of it on the website last week if you want to see.
Hello!
It's always nice to see him.
How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. How have you been?
Okay, not bad. I saw Steve Lomax Julius today.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And he's still there.
yes!
He's still there, but someone has done something to him.
Have they tongued him?
He hasn't been tongued, no. In fact, it's the opposite. He's been straightened by a piece of sellotape onto which is affixed a crudely ripped photocopied picture of Joseph Cornballs Cornish. Someone stuck Joe's face with sellotape to the end of their hair, the toilet hair. What does that mean? What am I supposed to make of that? What kind of message is that sending?
Who did it?
And who done it? I mean, that is the question. There should be some kind of large...
Do we have CCTV in the toilets?
BBC-style inquiry, launched for this. I mean, I'm going to put a picture of it on the website so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to do that during the news. It's just gone 10:30. BBC 6 Music, here is the news.
6 Music's very own Jarvis Cocker, Pulp and Babies. He's not doing his show tomorrow. John Cooper Clarke is on from 4 till 6, who I'm reliably informed smells amazing.
Good stand-in. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
He is brilliant, John Cooper Clarke. I'm excited because I am in Kevin Eldon's new sketch show.
Yeah.
I pop up once or twice. And so John Cooper Clarke will see that because he's a big Kevin Eldon fan. And so I'm going to be seen by John Cooper Clarke's eyes.
If you just hung around tomorrow between 4 and 6, you could touch him.
Yeah, but I've got to get back to attend to my family and keep everyone in line. You know what I mean? Smack them down if they're getting uppity.
Check on the broccoli. How is the picture up yet of the graffitied hair?
It is, yes.
Wow.
It's there, so you can go and see what people have done to the hair, the toilet hair.
You say people, I think Joe's done it.
What are you doing? Why are you sticking that to my face?
Is what he would have said.
Joe's done it.
You reckon?
Pasta works. He sneaked in here, stuck his face on the end of a hair.
Yeah, I imagine so, because he's not busy at all. So
yeah,
that would be a good use of his time.
Exactly. It's on Facebook.
Now,
head to the 6 Music Facebook site.
Yes. And incidentally, email address for any kind of communications is adamandedith@bbc.co.uk, or for briefer communications, or easier, if you prefer to text, you can text on 64046. Should we just fire off the terms and conditions for communication throughout the show while we're here so we don't have to do it during Memory Bank?
Do you want them now?
Yeah.
When you text or tweet, please make sure it's safe to do so. Please do not tweet while driving, flying a plane, performing major surgery, speaking to other people, sitting in a cinema, or making sweet, sweet love. Please keep all communication concise, amazing, and non-abusive. Excessively long and rambly messages will not be read. Charges for stray apostrophes will appear on your bill. Messages may be edited, then read out badly or in stupid voices. We cannot accept responsibility for distress caused by failure to read out messages. Your texts will be charged at your standard message rate. Thank you.
So there you go. Those are the terms and conditions. Bear those in mind if and when you get in touch. And maybe you'd like to get in touch with an answer to this question, Edith. Now, do you have pets? You don't have pets in your house because you're
allergic to most things.
Allergical.
Yeah.
So you don't have a hamster?
Don't have a hamster.
No.
We do have, well, I say we did have fish, which just seemed to not last very long.
Not fish from Marillion.
And not the actual person.
No. We've got David, the hamster Hammond, instead of an actual hamster. He comes round.
Oh.
And the children,
does he go one of those wheel things?
Yeah, the children
brilliant.
look after him. And they don't pay much attention to him anymore, actually.
He just sits in the corner.
Yeah, the day we got him, they were excited. But now he just sits in the corner and soils himself. And occasionally we give him a carrot. And he's happy with that. But the question I wanted to ask you, though, is imagine this. You have a hamster. Pretend you have a hamster.
Okay.
And the creature gets loose and goes a rampaging around the house. Mm-hmm. And you can't find the hamster. This happened to a friend of mine, right?
A friend. Yeah.
No, it didn't happen to us. It
Okay.
happened to a friend of my wife's, actually. And how do you locate the hamster? You assume that it's still in the house. You shut all the doors, right? The outside doors.
Yeah.
And
you go room by room.
You go room by room. You search the place, but it's no good because those hamster guys,
little guys,
they hide. They're good at the hiding.
Little fur balls.
And so, how do you actually establish whereabouts in the house the hamster has got to?
Surely you kind of, you leave their favourite meal out for it.
Yeah, but then it'll just eat your favourite meal, and that'll be the end of that.
But if you put it in one room with a kind of trap of some sort.
Well, no, that's good. You're on the right tracks. Because one thing that someone said was, oh, what about putting flour down, right? So that was one thing they tried. They sprinkled every room with flour and checked for the feet. And sure enough, there were feet in the flour. But they were feet not in the flour, like all over the place. It had just gone running all around. So it was impossible to tell where it had ended up. The way they cracked it was by closing all the doors of the rooms and putting a piece of food in the middle of the room. And so then in the morning, they found the room that where the food had been eaten.
Okay.
And established that the hamster was in that room. Yes. So
That's
good bit of lateral thinking that Dr. Buckles would never have thought of. I would have been sprinkling.
Here, football!
I would have created like a sort of laser carpet, like they have with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery in that dreadful, dreadful film. What was that dreadful film called?
Oh,
what was it? Entrapment. Good one, Ben.
Not quite as good as Tom Cruise in Minority Reports when he gets lowered down vroom, into that laser trap as well. I like that bit.
Right. Is that Minority Report as well? He's always being lowered down into things, isn't he? Anyway, listen. So that's just a useful bit of information if you've got hamster problems or if you live with David Hammond. But after that, sorry, Edith, you were going to say?
I was just going to say I've got a coin here because I believe that's how we're choosing Song Wars as to...
We're going to be flipping that coin after this next track, and then we will unveil our Song Wars efforts, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time here on Six Music. But right now, this is Beth Orton with Call Me the Breeze.
Beth Orton on Six Music, Call Me the Breeze. Love that song.
It's a beautiful sound.
Beautiful. I feel a bit sick, if I'm being honest about this now.
Because you're pregnant.
I'm past that stage.
Oh.
Yeah. Just on stuff in my face now on that stage of pregnancy. But
the fun stage.
Yeah. The fun stage, yeah.
The burger stage.
Eat me, yeah.
Burger and coal.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Crispy Mars bar cakes with beetroot are my latest. It's really tasty.
That's normal in Scotland, though, isn't it? Yeah. Little bit of racism.
Funny you should say that. As we're about to enter Song Wars.
Yes.
I have a coin.
Okay.
It's 2 pence piece in case you're interested.
Listen, fire off the jingle first and let's get us into our first Song Wars battle, myself and Edith Bowman here on Six Music.
It's time for Song Wars, the war of the songs. A couple of tunes by a couple of prongs, so check it out.
It's an incredibly weedy jingle, isn't it?
Quite like it.
Nice to hear it again, though. And we're going to flip the coin and then we will see who's going to play their song about a hotel or hotels first.
You pick heads or tails.
Tails, I go first.
Okay. Whoa.
Mate, gotta catch the coin, mate. That's the only thing.
I didn't look.
Yeah.
Tails it is.
Tails. Oh, okay.
Yes! Are you going to intro it or shall I just play it?
Well, what do I need to say about this? So we both got musical help this week.
Oh, who did you get help from?
I got help.
Radiohead.
No, not Radiohead.
Nigel Godrich.
No. Unfortunately,
The Black Man?
Unbelievable as it might seem, those people
Pixies
are too busy
Black
to help.
Man?
No. He's a guy called Stuart Earle who helped me do music for the TV show Bug that I did in the summer, and it is sort of Kraftwerk inspired.
Yeah.
This track. What else do I need to say about it? Not much. It's about it's about my affection for a certain type of hotel where, I mean, it might seem listening to the song that I'm being snooty and irreverent about it, but that's not the case. I enjoy these places and I like to stay in them because I'm a giant ponce. And this is a hotel. This is a song about that. It's called Boutique Hotel.
1, 2, 3. I'm traveling Trans-Europe to London this weekend. I have a gallery opening I'm expected to attend. I will not stay with friends, I need my private space. But a normal hotel is just too boring a place. I don't want somewhere swanky, just wanky's good for me. Somewhere that's idiosyncratic, that's why you see I'm going to spend a weekend in a boutique hotel. Katy Perry states I want Jake Gyllenhaal as well. Each room's unique with a quirkular aesthetic. Hotels where the rooms are all the same I find pathetic. They've got a bar where they serve extremely bouncy cocktails. I'll have the broccoli one with vodka and the drool from a trap. Don't do it. Now take a seat on some furniture they got from the junk shop. And look at all the wonky pictures and the wonky lamp. Boutique hotel, I'm under your spell. I'm washing my socks in your eco-friendly shower gel. I am residing in a boutique hotel. Only £15 for this bag of special nuts. A hotel that is not boutique is my idea of hell. The normal hotels charge £15 for normal nuts. But here they have a shop with expensive hipster gifts. And they have DJs in the toilets and the lifts. Do you take requests?
No!
Later tonight there's a private function in the games room. It's the launch of a book full of poetry made up by cooks. Life is hard without chard. Then I must pack my bags and travel back to Berlin for the launch of my book full of pictures from launches of books. So I must bid you farewell, my boutique hotel. Your laundry's too expensive and I'm starting to smell.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!
It's a little callback for you there.
I like
So
it.
it's quite long. That's one of the longest Song Wars songs I've done.
It's like an actual song.
I know. After sort of saying to you, you don't
30
really want to.
seconds.
30 seconds is fine. Certainly don't go over 3 minutes. And that's just under the 3 minute mark. Maybe some might think outstaying its welcome. But I was operating at 115 BPM there. Normally, I don't like to go below 120.
Wow. Stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It's difficult week for me.
It's kind of Pet Shop Boys versus Kraftwerk. Yeah?
Kraftwerk and Pet Shop Boys,
Yeah,
sure,
like
it's all
it.
in there. Yeah. So tell us about yours, Edith.
So mine is, mine's quite personal because it's a bit of an insight into my childhood.
You grew up in a hotel.
I grew up in a hotel in a little village called Anstruther in Fife.
What kind of hotel was it?
Well, it was my granddad started it
Yeah.
as a kind of B&B and then it sort of grew over the years.
Did he have DJs?
Occasionally, yeah, they used to have road shows.
Did they?
Yeah, the local radio station would come and do road shows when
All
I
the
was a
creeps
kid.
would turn up.
Yeah, really tight jeans and slip-on
Great.
plimsolls.
Then all get arrested.
And it wasn't always, a pleasant experience being part of growing up in a hotel. And
How many rooms are we talking?
50.
That's quite big.
It started off at 6, and then over the years it grew into a 50-bedroom hotel.
Yeah.
And left me with a bit of a bad habit as well from my time. The song will explain everything.
All right.
So my song is called Fish and Chips.
Here we go.
I was born in the cocktail bar of a little hotel. I guess that's why I turned out how I did. But it wasn't just any random hotel. It was known for the best fish and chips. Oh, fish and chips, fish and chips. That's why everything I eat is fried. I spent all my time making fish and chips. Being healthy and it's got ain't easy, I've tried. From a very young age I was sent out to work, from chambermaid to gardener and then cook. Now I hear what you're saying, surely that's child labor. I don't believe that they put us through the books. Oh, fish and chips, fish and chips. That's why everything I eat is fried. I spend all my time making fish and chips. Being healthy and it's got ain't easy, I've tried. Cleaning up after folks was a bit of a shock. The things they left behind, it made me sick. Strap-ons and blow-ups, yep, that kind of thing. Things that help them get a hard time. Oh, fish and chips, fish and chips. That's why everything I eat is fried. I spend all my time making fish and chips. Being healthy and it's got ain't easy, I tried. One more time. Fish and chips, fish and chips. That's why everything I eat is fried. I spend all my time making fish and chips. Being healthy and it's got ain't easy, I've tried. You're writing lots of notes there. Is that to give me a critique? Official?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. Oh, God. It's going to be as bad as last week.
Edith Bowman, the song Fish and Chips that you have written for the Song Wars Battle, inaugural Song Wars Battle, is very, very good.
Whoa!
And I feel threatened and angry about how good it is. I was hoping and expecting it to be
rubbish,
very poor. But it was really very, very good. Excellent production, beautifully produced, lovely harmonies. Was that you harmonising there?
Yeah.
Very, very nice harmonies.
Thanks.
Good lyrics, lovely, interesting insight into your young life
All
as
true.
chambermaid,
All true.
gardener and cook.
All true.
And interesting to know where your fish and chip fetish came from. Fun little bit of sauciness there about the sex paraphernalia you used to find in the rooms.
Yeah, true.
It was just great. It's brilliant, Louise. I'm going to call you Louise from now on. Louise, it was very, very good.
Thanks, Brian.
Tammy Wynette I had written down here. I don't know if it actually does sound like Tammy Wynette, but it sounds like a classic country song, and it's just great. So well done to you and your very talented husband.
Yeah. I got really scared about it at the start of the week, and it was just because I hadn't actually started it. And
Yeah.
it's like, just start it and you'll be fine.
Looking at the blank page, the blank
Yeah.
computer screen is very intimidating.
And then,
did you go through any versions? Did you start off with a different tack and then end up there?
Yeah, I remember I was sitting watching TV on Monday night, and I just started writing down a few notes of memories of things that I remembered from my time in the hotel.
Yes.
And then the next day I was like, right, I sat with those notes and formed the lyrics. I watched actually Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That was the inspiration for the
classic albums, isn't it?
theme of the of the song, and
Very
then
good.
sung the melody to him indoors, and he did the guitar for me.
Very
a little bit
good.
of mandolin in the back as well.
It's brilliant. Well, listeners, you have to decide, though, which one you would like to crown the King of Song Wars or the Queen of Song Wars next week when we unveil which was the winner. You can do that throughout the week by email adamandedith@bbc.co.uk. That is the best way to vote for Song Wars. And what you could do to make life easier is just put as the title of the email Song Wars, either Adam or Edith as the winner.
Not Louise.
No, not Louise. That's different competition. And then we'll count up the votes and announce who's won next week. We'll play those songs again, though, before the end of the show today.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. You've got to get your money's worth. I mean, that's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, I know, but to be fair, playing it once is fine by me.
I know, but, people are going out Saturday, people are going out shopping. We'll have a whole different audience by 12:30. We'll see how it goes. But
you've got a free play now then?
Yeah. Here's my free play, and this is by The Doe. Do you know The Doe?
I don't know.
It's a duo. I think he's a
not know?
Parisian, or maybe she's a Parisian. I don't know. It's a man and lady couple, both very, very glamorous and European.
Of course they are.
And sexy looking. The Doe spelled D-O, and the O with a stroke through it.
Accent.
I think that's called a minuscule.
Is it? I thought it was an
Minuscule?
accent.
I don't know. People can correct me. Not the dots above, not the umlaut, or whatever. Anyway, this is The Doe with a track called "Gonna Be Sick," which I'm not aware of too many other songs about vomiting.
True.
But she makes it sound brilliant. There's a very good video for this as well, incidentally. I just love this song, "Gonna Be Sick" by The Doe. That's a group of yobs. And they're singing a song called "Everybody Needs Somebody to Love." Who wrote that song? Was it
Sam and Dave?
Sam and Dave, was it?
I think so.
Solomon Burke? Oh, I don't know. Again, someone can
tell
correct
us.
me. But the Rolling Stones did their version there, of course, and the Blues Brothers, of course, went on to do...
Love that.
Probably one of the best versions of it.
Definitely.
They do a great version.
Love that film, one of my favourite films ever.
We've got some messages
Thanks,
here
guys.
from people talking about our Song Wars efforts. What kind of reactions are we getting, Edith?
Matt Rowbottom in Peterborough says, Adam, your song sounds a little bit like I'll Be Back by Arnie and the Terminators, famed by Steve Wright back in the early 90s. Were you inspired by it?
No.
Okay. Very much enjoying the Boutique Hotel song on Adam and Edith. Only £15 for this special bag of nuts.
Yes, these nuts are so special because look, they come in a can and they have paprika. And so I will pay £15 because it's the middle of the night and I'm stupid. I've done that many, many times.
Me too. I must go to the launch of my book of pictures from Launches of Books. Buxton's latest song this morning. Very funny.
Thanks very much. What kind of things are people saying about yours?
I haven't had any.
Have you not?
No.
Well, I've seen a few votes coming in for yours. I had to tell Ben, our assistant here, not to show us the votes because it plays with your mind.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about it. They'll
Don't be angry.
They'll tabulate. Listen, I mean, it's going to be. I hope it'll be close, but I think you may well romp home with a win.
It.
This week, it's certainly going to be close. We also have some messages here about hamsters. We were talking about locating hamsters. This is like a proper radio show now, right?
Yeah.
Just important stuff coming in.
Totally.
And I was talking about how do you locate a missing hamster. I also constantly referred in a comedy way to David the Hammond hamster. He's called Richard. He's not called David. He's called Richard.
Someone pull you up
the
about
Hammond.
that.
No, they didn't. I'm amazed. I'm not sure if there's too many Top Gear fans tuning in, but I'm sure there are. There's a couple of messages here, though, saying you have to think like a hamster. This is from Millenheimer of Hackney. He says, if you were small, furry, and had cheeks full of grub, what would you do? Where would you choose to reside? My audacious hamster, Professor Bong, was tracked down to the insides of our sofa. My dad channeled Prof. Bong and got him the first time. It blew our minds.
The inside of your sofa.
Yeah, that's grotesque, isn't it? I mean, they're just such idiots. You're just going to get sat on, you idiot. What are you doing inside the sofa? Get back on your wheel.
No food in there. Actually, there probably is.
Small animals just going places they shouldn't really makes me furious. Like, I've got birds up in my roof in the loft space, you know, where I work. I hear them scritching and scratching around all day.
Get out!
Get out, you idiots. What are you doing there? It's no fun. I went up there the other day because I heard them scratching away and I just thought, I'm going to catch them at it. Then I'm going to pull them out and throw them out of the window where they belong. And I'd do it very gently if I found them. But I couldn't see them. All I could see was just mountains of their pop that they had deposited all over. It stank. It was awful. I've got to call in some guys.
Some bird poo guys.
Sort the place out.
Birdman!
It's terrible. So Edith, I don't know if you know, but we've got a thing that we do in this country called Christmas coming up.
Oh wow!
Don't know if you do it in Scotland.
In Scotland, no.
But here,
too tight.
Yeah, here in England, we do this thing. We give each other gifts, and we're kind to each other, and we try and remember what it's like. The best things about being a human being, right? And what that entails is stuffing ourselves full of pies, and also buying bits of electronic equipment for each other.
Okay, have you bought me something?
No.
Okay.
I'm still working on my wife. She doesn't listen to this show because she's always busy doing important wife things at this time of day. So I'm going to talk about the fact that I am having trouble finding a gift.
For your wife?
I mean, it really is getting ludicrous, the fact that I buy her the same thing every year. And now I'm just like this middle-aged guy who's falling into all these cliches of buying her all these predictable gifts.
Like?
Well, I think I buy her nice things. One thing I do, which is genuinely nice, I think, is make like a family album each year.
That's nice.
So that's where most of my efforts go, and that takes a while as well. But then I feel as if I need to supplement that with an actual bought gift.
Yeah.
But what do you get? I just don't know. So I went online to try and find. I typed in good ideas for wife gifts.
Oh dear.
And I found a thread on a site, a gift site, lady site, I don't know what it was, which was, anyone have good ideas for my wife, brackets, not jewellery? I thought, yes, perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Sign me up. What name could I use?
So here's a few of the things that people had written under there. Combustible Kitty says, get her an iPod. Get on her iPod and see what she listens to the most and see if that band/artist is on tour and get tickets.
That's great.
I mean, that is thoughtful, isn't it?
That's really good. Have you done that?
No.
Okay.
Because otherwise we'll have to go and see Fleetwood Mac.
Well, they're playing next year.
I'm sure, but
they are. They're touring in June.
You know what? She'd probably love it, but it's going to cost me about £150,000, isn't it, just to see these old guys up there pretending not to hate each other? So I'm not sure about that. Going to see rock behemoths, however good they are, and apparently they still sound good. Here's one from Sashton who says, this sounds simple, but it works every time. What about a coupon? Massage coupons are good. I think
it's not called. They're called vouchers. Were you born? Are you like 90? They're not called coupons.
I don't know where that Sashton comes from. Maybe he comes from a place where they call them coupons.
Free stuff. Like when you go to Sainsbury's and you spend £800 and they give you 30p off your toilet roll. Yeah. It's like, that's a coupon.
You're right.
You want to give her a 30p off her toilet roll. That's
Sashton is talking about a coupon. I mean, it's kind of a coupon that you can redeem, though, isn't it? And he's talking about making these things and then giving it like I owe you. My dad does that sometimes. Like when we were growing up, my dad used to give us like an envelope, and inside would be this little scrap of paper, and he'd written, I owe you driving lessons, or whatever it happened to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Dad.
Cheers.
Anyway, so he says, what about a coupon? Massage coupons are good, or massage. This coupon is good for a 30-minute massage of your choice. This coupon is good for a 15-minute foot rub, etc. Works good for both of you, says Sashton.
Oh, he's expecting you to do the massage then.
Well, I think he's thinking that, massages do sometimes lead to a more exciting place. But what about that if you were presented with coupons?
Vouchers? Vouchers, yes, definitely.
Really? Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, with a voucher for but to go out to one of those really nice spas where they play music that's like on your mixtape.
Yeah.
And so that you can kind of properly relax and, not be at home and you not rubbing her feet properly.
Exactly, with a grin on my face, raising my eyebrows.
How's this feel?
This is good, isn't it? Okay, and here's one more piece of advice from someone who's called Sherdlu. or something.
Shardloo.
I don't know.
Shardloo.
People have weird names online. If your wife says she doesn't want anything, which my wife does, she says, "Oh, don't get me anything. Don't get me anything." Get a very nice card. Find someone who does calligraphy and have them write up something like this: "Dear wife, I give you the gift of my time. I will do the following," and then you fill in items that she's wanted you to do and that you haven't got round to doing. You can even just offer 40 hours or your choice amount and let her choose how to spend them. Time is such a precious thing. Give her your time as a gift.
I would walk out the room if you gave me that.
I'm going to say, yeah. Darling, I've got you 45 minutes of my time, which incidentally, I mean, if I was billing that for a corporate gig, that would be a lot of cash money.
I would rip up the card.
I've got you 45 minutes, during which time I will do one of the following. Put up those pictures that you've been asking me to put up for 5 years. Take out the bins without complaining about it. Do children's bath times all this week, but only for up to 45 minutes. If they dawdle, then you'll have to take over. How do you think that's going to go down?
Well, I'd imagine that the card would instantly be fed to David Hammond and she'd leave the room immediately. That's the rubbish.
Okay, Christmas gift ideas, and here's some Christmassy music. This has got to be one of the best Christmas songs.
It's also one of the longest, but we won't be playing it all.
All right, here we go. This is the Waitresses Christmas Wrapping. Very good. That's the Waitresses with Christmas Wrapping. Was there anyone famous in the Waitresses?
I don't know. It's like from 1980, early 80s.
That's such a good song. I think I even
One of the Bangles or something's got to be in there, surely. Something like that.
Yeah. I bought the Waitresses' greatest hits, 'cause, you know, on the strength of that track, thinking, I mean, this is an amazing song. They've got to be brilliant. They kind of sound a bit like the B-52s or something, don't they?
Yeah.
But no.
Huge fail.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should persevere. Go back to the Waitresses. Hey, how you doing, listeners? This is Adam Buxton and Edith Bowman with you here on a Saturday morning. It's 20 past 11, and the second hand, which is coloured red, is just coming up to the 12, which makes it 21 minutes past 11. Little time check there for you. And it's time now to launch this week's Memory Bank.
Time for some stories you deposited in the memory bank. The memory bank. The memory bank. We're the nice bank. Would you like to bank with us? All of them are truthful. Every now and then they're a little bit frank. The memory bank. The memory bank. Ooh, I'm sorry about your very overdrawn. Email us your stories or text or tweet or send them round with Hank. Send them with Hank. Send them with Hank to the memory bank.
So this week on the Memory Bank, we are talking about airline travel, planes, stories that have happened to you in airports, around planes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, past interest in passengers you've been sat next to. Or...
Do you like to fly, Edith?
I do. I like to fly on my own.
Yeah.
I find it a bit of an adventure.
Sure.
It's always slightly stressful when when you're with the family and whatnot and stuff. But
with whatnot, especially, he's awful.
Whatnot, yeah. We never know what he's going to get up to, whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do quite like flying. I always like the kind of, little drink before you get on, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It makes you either fall asleep or cry.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I used to loathe. I used to be very frightened of flying.
Really?
Yep. For a long time, I just suddenly got terrified of it. I think when I was in my teens, early 20s. Just felt very depressed whenever I had to fly and would get into a funk like a few days before.
Don't use that word.
Sorry. I actually don't like that word myself. But I think I used it properly there. I got into a Craig Charles's Funky Bunker for a few...
Stop using it!
...days before flying, because I'd be thinking, oh no, I don't like to fly. I don't like, I'm a sort of control freak, I suppose, and I don't like being in situations where I don't know what's happening and I can't see the guy driving the plane and stuff like that. I like it when they do the announcements and tell you exactly what's happening and stuff. And all the noises, I don't like the noises, and I always think, that's not a normal noise. Why is it doing that? I don't remember it doing that every time. And, the bit where it takes off, after you've taken off and there's the initial roar of the engines, and then you sort of plateau a little bit, start to even out, and then it seems as if just all the engines are switched off. You think, no, that's no good.
I want to hear noise. I remember flying with Colin Murray quite a lot over a period of time, and Colin, every time we flew, we'd do this thing when the stewardess would do the announcement and do the life vests and stuff, and you have a light to attract attention, and a little tube to blow up your thing, and then a whistle, and every time he would shout out, "In case you land in a rave!"
Hey!
Every time.
Come on, Colin.
I'm surprised he didn't get at least thrown off the plane once.
I wonder if he still does that.
Probably.
Did he ever get a laugh from the stewardesses?
No, just scowls.
No, of course.
Scowls.
Scowls is what he deserves. The other bad thing about flying, I mean, there's many bad things about flying. It's not an ideal way to travel. It feels deeply unnatural in many ways. You know, you just think, this is...
How do they do it?
How do they do it? This is breaking all kinds of physical laws. No, it's magical. I don't know how they get this big metal tube up in the air. But the other thing is that it shoves right in your face the kind of inequity of modern society, i.e. you are forced to see at very close proximity how good the privileged have it up there in first class. And it is just, you know, normally you're able to kind of... You're not really aware of how the other half live, right? They're in their special houses and their special chauffeur-driven cars or whatever.
They always turn left.
And you don't really get a glimpse of what it's actually like for them firsthand. But then suddenly when you're on a plane, you can see it. You walk in and it's like they are deliberately taunting you with how amazing it is for them up there in first class. They filter you past it and you see, whoa, look, they've got beds in there. They've got cottages. They've got individual cottages with waiters and like girlfriends and boyfriends provided for them if they want. They've got everything up there. Have you ever been first class?
Once I got upgraded. I've never paid for it.
No, I've never paid for it either. Actually, I paid for business class to Australia. We went and did some bug shows out in Australia and ended up losing money because we went business. So we made no money whatsoever. But it was worth it because it is amazing. And this is the thing, is like when you're up, and I went first class once to the US. We got upgraded on my honeymoon. Me and my wife got nice. It was amazing.
Did you tell them in advance to try and get upgraded?
Yeah, I did everything I possibly could. I mean,
on Facebook, does anyone know anyone at Virgin?
Honestly, it was Dr. Buckles was pulling strings from every direction. I was asking anyone, have you got, I've been on a late night TV show on Channel 4. There must be something you can do. But it worked. It was amazing. And it was incredible. And once you've tasted that life, it's very hard to go back to steerage, and just be...
cattle class.
Yeah, and just get your meal with everyone else, not when you want to order it, and not be able to recline your seat
Can I have
completely.
the fillet steak rare, please?
So it's tough. But you've got a story there, right?
I do. I was lucky enough to chat to hugely talented director David O. Russell.
Yeah.
The Fighter fame, and most recently Silver Linings Playbook, which is a brilliant film.
And Three Kings?
Three Kings
is one of my favourite films. Yeah,
great film. So he's here, there, and everywhere flying around. So I asked him about flying. So here's David O. Russell's tale of flying.
I went to my mom's funeral, God rest her soul, 12 years ago, and with a dear friend who came with me, Ben Hernandez Bray, came with me as like a brother to my mom's funeral. And then we were flying back, and we were sitting on an airplane, and this woman, for some reason, sometimes someone just chooses you to talk to you. Yeah. We were near the bathroom, and this older woman, she might have been in her 60s, she had had a few drinks, and she just decided she wanted to talk to these two nice young men, and she just started like leaning over us, talking, and she had all this cheese and food that was in her teeth, from eating. She'd been eating cheese and drinking wine, and it was like a very perilous looking up at her, because like these hunks would fly out, as she was talking. And we were like, just trying to talk to her and trying to say, well, we got to maybe wrap up this conversation. She, the kind of person who just won't stop. She just kept talking. She was happy. She'd had some drinks and she wanted to talk. And she was near the bathroom and she had us prisoner, And so she kept talking, and eventually, while she was talking, right when I was going to say to her, we really have to go, from our chairs, and I could see it now in slow motion like a scene from Anchorman, as my mouth goes, go, that's a wide open mouth, a chunk comes flying out of her mouth, and in slow motion I see it coming towards me, I'm going, no, and it went in my mouth, all right, and I was like, I immediately was like, and I exploded out of my seat, and my friend Ben is laughing hysterically, and I just shoved her out of the way. At that point, I was done being polite. I was like, and I went into the bathroom. I jumped the line. I was like, flushing my mouth out with this 60-year-old woman's hunk of cheese from her booze mouth. Oh, here it comes. No, right to my tongue.
60-year-old woman hunk of cheese from her booze mouth. That's a strong image.
Oh, it was brilliant.
David O. Russell, that was the film director. Is he promoting a new film now?
He's got Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, Silver Linings Playbook, of
with
course.
Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. It's really worth seeing. It's great.
Right.
Very funny.
So we'd like to hear your stories about air travel, whatever they may be. I mean, the other thing is the with the first class situation now, they police it so strictly.
Yeah.
Because they know that there's always someone wanting to start their own little revolution, you know.
It's that thing, if there's a queue in kind of economy of 40 people waiting for the toilet, and there's no queue in business or first for the toilet, and you go, I'm just going to go, and you try and get past the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
And it's a force field.
It's a recent thing as well, because in the olden days, I remember travelling with my dad in the 70s and stuff. So you're on the plane, everyone's smoking away with their polishing their Kalashnikovs. And if you want to use the lav, you just, if the economy one's full, you just wander up to first class and use theirs, have a whiskey and soda and another ciggy and then come back. But you can't do that now. I mean, they stand there right by the curtain and there's no way you're getting past. I mean, sometimes I just wait for the lights to go down and just make little ninja, sorties up there to first class and try and get in there. Slam the door. Yes! And it's exactly the same, except it's got a rose in a cup.
That's exactly it. Right, get your stories in then from Memory Bank. You can email us if they're long stories, Adam and Edith at bbc.co.uk. If they're short and sweet, then you can text us 64046 or tweet us, which is at BBC6 Music. It's time to get your latest news right now with Harvey Kitt.
Thatcher. The Specials, Ghost Town. I remember playing that in the car with my mum when I was a little lad, when that was in the charts. And it was one of those good times when my mum liked it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always felt so excited when my mum liked the stuff that I was into. She said, oh yes, that's very good, isn't it? And she liked Message in a Bottle as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I love this one.
You should get her to, there's an amazing thing happening on Wednesday, 6 Music Specials, doing a special Maida Vale session with Steve Lamacchi. He's going to be coming live for Maida Vale this coming Wednesday with an audience of 6 Music listeners. Can we go? I'd quite like to go and watch that. It'd be great.
I'm sure that'd be excellent. Adam Buxton and Edith Bowman here on BBC 6 Music, and there's still people messaging about the hamster situation. Someone who says here, inside the sofa is where ours went. There are many inside sofa areas that aren't sitting on areas, Adam. Think about it. And there's a little smiley emoticon, but that was I was upbraided by that message there. I'm loving the show, though. I get a little kiss at the end there as well. And here's one from, I'm not sure who, oh no, this is Alien Cowman. This is from an Alien Cowman. It says, Dear A&E, I was told this method by a pet shop owner once and it worked for me. The way to recapture a missing hamster is to take a plastic bucket, put some lettuce in it. Hamsters love lettuce and can't resist it. He puts there in brackets. Place some cushions around it so that the hamster can climb up to the edge of the bucket. Leave it overnight and the hamster should be in the bucket when you get up in the morning. They drop down to get the lettuce and can't climb back up again. Cheers, Alien Cowman. And actually there was a similar story sent in there by Amy from Liverpool. Thank you. She had a similar tip. She says, I used to use library books, make a staircase up to the rim of the bucket, balance the book on the edge, leave a trail of food, and plop, it would fall into the bottom of the bucket.
Unless it could fly.
And that's how you capture a hamster.
Fly Lilypad's got a presents tweet that she sent in. My ex-fiancé bought me a Hoover for Christmas. Note the first 3 words of this tweet.
A Hoover? If it's a good Hoover, I'd be happy with that.
Oh, come on.
Well, there's good and bad Hoovers.
Okay,
yeah.
Mrs. Buxton, if you're listening, you know what he wants for Christmas.
Yeah. And then
he can then Hoover the car.
She can say, this sucks. And I say, well, exactly, darling. Bye. Now, listen, folks, there's a podcast available of this show, and it will be available later this evening, put together by Dina Jahina, our wonderful producer. And on that podcast, there are all kinds of little nuggets that are exclusive to the podcast. But one of them that popped up there, there's a few little jingles and things that I create for that. One of them that popped up, I had a few messages about this week from people asking if I could play it. And so this is about cats. I don't own a cat, but I imagine that this is what it would be like to own a cat.
I've got a cat, who's a naughty little cat. Look at the cheeky naughty little cat. Don't go anywhere near my computer. Can you guess? Yes, that's where the naughty cat sat when I found him. On the keyboard he was writing erotic fiction. And he'd read on the keys cause he's a naughty little cat. Naughty, naughty little cat.
Yeah, hate cats.
That's called... Yeah, that's a bit strong. You can't say that in the UK. You will get massive cat grief now.
I've got friends who've got cats.
That's page 1 of the DJ book. Welcome to the world of disc jockeying. Now, the first thing you have to remember is not to antagonize cat lovers. They are a giant and efficient, easily mobilized force of frightening power if antagonized. So never say anything negative about cats on the radio.
It's because I'm allergic, but I have friends who have cats. They hate them.
Do they?
Yeah.
I think you have to own a cat to say you hate it. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't
read a book by its cover type thing.
Yeah,
don't read a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, just don't read books.
Yeah.
Just avoid books. That's the message. So anyway, tune in to the podcast is the upshot, and that'll be available, as I said, later today. But right now, it's your favourite band.
Woohoo! Haim! Time on Six Music, Don't Save Me. They were in with Lauren actually a couple of weeks ago, the other week, I think. And as well as doing a brilliant session.
Don't take this wrong, right? But that does sound like some ladies with very large hair from 1985.
They do have great hair, actually.
Yeah.
They've got great hair.
Good. Okay, good. You didn't take it wrong.
They also recorded a free MP3, which is why it's called an MP3, because it's free. They did the Hanukkah song from the Adam Sandler in 8 Crazy Nights, so you can check that out, I think, on the website. Is that right? No, it's Wednesday with Lauren. You can get that. So, they're brilliant. They're so good, and they do have fabulous hair for ladies.
Giant hair.
Now, obviously, there are some really nice cats out there.
Edith, she's now quaking in anticipation of the...
Like a cat, like Puss in Boots and Shrek.
Wrath. Cat's out the bag, though.
Look at his wee boots.
They are great. They're great. They're fantastic.
Nice and cuddly little things.
Animals. My sister's just got a cat that she's very much in love with. Hello, Ghost. How are you? Oh, man. While I remember as well, I've got to say hello to a little chap. I don't usually do shout-outs, but I did say that I would do this one for a little guy called Josh. He's 9. I don't know if he's little in stature, but hey, Josh, how's it going? He lives in Ireland. And I did say that I would give him a shout-out in the first half hour of the show and forgot, so I don't know if he's going to be listening, but maybe we could include this in the podcast, Dina. Even though it's totally inconsequential.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, Josh, how's it going, guys?
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Don't go into the toilet. There's a guy hanging there with a face at Joe Cornish. You don't want to see that. Come on, buddy. At 9, come away from there. All right. And so, listen, we're in the middle of Memory Bank. Let's have a little quick Memory Bank jingle.
Time for some stories you deposited in the memory bank. The memory bank. The memory bank. Ooh, I'm sorry about your very overdrawn.
And the topic for Memory Bank this week is air travel in its various forms. Do you have a story for us there, Edith?
I do. This is from Alessandra. She says, greetings, Buckstrawn and Buxbow. When returning from a holiday in Greece, my parents and I had a pretty memorable experience at airport security. The departure lounge at this airport was tiny and stuffy, and due to delays, we'd been waiting for hours. We started queuing for about another hour as we tried to make our way to the hand luggage check-in, tired and befuddled. At this point, we put our bags on the machine and proceeded to the beepy thing. Mm-hmm. My mum walks through. Fine. I walk through. Fine. My dad approaches and is stopped by the outstretched hand of a security guard. The guard points his baton at my dad's crotch and says something in a heavy Greek accent, something like, Bombandamashi! Dad looks at him, slightly confused. The guard repeats, Bombandamashi! Doesn't stop doing so, getting progressively louder and even less intelligible. Bombandamashi! mercy! He's still wagging his baton at my dad's trouser department, while other guards have stepped in either side of my dad and grabbed his arms. Suddenly, my mum understands. Bum bag in the machine. My dad wearing his god-awful bum bag the entire holiday to outsmart pickpockets. And in all the airport tedium, had forgotten about it. He made it through security and we are stuck with him today.
It's very, I mean, that's a wonderful story. Thanks. Who was that from?
Alessandra.
And it also contained the phrase waggling his baton at his groin, which is always a good phrase.
Dad's trouser department.
It's nerve-wracking walking through the security these days. I mean, especially nowadays that everyone's slightly lost perspective in airports. That's just my personal opinion, not that of the British castle. But you know what I mean? You just think, here we
Shoes
go.
on or off? What's going on?
They've won. The terrorists have won, haven't they? Okay, because now look at the queue. Oh, for goodness sake, they've won.
So you stand in the queue for an hour or whatever, and you always forget as well, or at least I always do, because I'm not a frequent flyer. So you get to the airport and then you check in or whatever, and then you think, oh, I forgot about security. So you're there for the next hour, and I don't want to generalize, but a lot of the time the guys, they get up there with the X-ray machine, they're not fun guys. They're grumpy. Fair enough, I suppose. That's not a rewarding job, you would imagine, but boy, they're low on interpersonal charm sometimes.
The when you get searched as well, that's not a pleasant experience as well.
Maybe not for you.
No.
Here's a story though that I found online. This is a story that was written up by a journalist called Nick Carbone from February of this year, talking about emergency exit doors. And he says, sitting next to a screaming child on an airplane can make someone want to jump out of the window at the best of times. One man aboard a Vietnam Airlines plane recently attempted to take that adage literally. Luckily for all on board, the plane had already landed, but that didn't stop 29-year-old Lee Van Tuan from opening the plane's window exit and releasing the emergency slide. But it wasn't Van Tuan who wanted to escape, according to Associated Press. The mother and her screaming child he was sat next to were looking to disembark the plane as quickly as possible after landing at Ho Chi Minh City Airport. Turning to Tuan in the seat next door for help, he opened the door for the mother, according to the airport staff members. Neither Tuan or the mother ended up using the slide, and the incident led only to greater annoyance for all on board. The plane was disabled after the slide was opened, leading the airline to seek out another jet for the return journey. Vietnam's Tuoi Train News reports that Tuan faces a fine of at least 15 million Vietnamese dong. That seems like a massive amount of dong, doesn't it? But it's actually more like £500. Still, a lot of money for simply opening the door. But the slide release, though it went unused, will prove even more costly. Much like an airbag, the slide must be refitted inside the plane at a cost of £6,000 to the airline each time. As uncommon as the situation seems, Vietnam Airlines is no stranger to erroneously opened exit doors. It's the third time in 6 months that a Vietnamese flyer has opened one. In November of last year, a 22-year-old college student who claimed he had never been on a plane before accidentally opened the door, thinking it would release the window shade. And in July, a man opened the exit door, and when asked why he did so, he said it was out of sheer curiosity. They were both fined 15 million Vietnamese dong. A huge amount of dong, but you deserve it because what are you doing? Like, do you ever get tempted just to go up and pull on the big handle?
Yeah, and on trains as well.
Oh, but especially
just to see what they do
in the air, though.
I was quite wanting to have a go on one of the emergency slides without my shoes on, just to see what it's like.
Yeah, because in theory, I don't know. Presumably there are fail-safes to stop it being opened in mid-air, aren't there?
I have no idea.
But it just seems like you could probably go up and disable them fairly easily and just open it.
Yeah, let's not try that on the next flight you're on.
We'll have some more of your stories for Memory Bank coming up in the show. But right now, we've got The Strokes. Is that right? I love this one. This is a really very, very good song. A very good song. Well done by the band, The Strokes. Well done. I don't know what they're doing now. I don't think they ever did anything else after this. But well done. Brilliant song.
Tune.
Excellent stuff. The Strokes here on BBC Six Music. You're listening to Adam Buxton and Edith Bowman, and we're in the midst of a feature that we call Memory Bank.
Time for some stories you deposited in the memory bank. The memory bank. The memory bank. We're the nice bank. Would you like to bank with us?
Robin's tweeted to say the doors are armed, by the way, and impossible to open mid-flight to stop the crazies going crazy.
Oh, no! Here's a story from Anonymous. Someone anonymous has texted in. On a flight to Bali, my wife challenged the convention of wearing comfy clothes and chose to wear a pair of skinny jeans. After about 40 minutes, I was awoken by my wife screaming as her legs had expanded due to the altitude. And now the skinny jeans were considerably tighter. And skinnier feeling. Such was the pain that she was enduring, she had to take them off. I helped her to do so in the toilet. And then she sat in her knickers, wrapped in the free rug you get for the rest of the 14-hour flight. She's an idiot hole. That is pretty basic, though. Come on, have you not heard of deep vein thrombosis? Don't go on with your skinny jeans, you raving lunatic.
This is from Dave. He says, "Hi Buxbo, wanted to share a troubling tale with you that occurred when I travelled to Florida about 8 years ago. I went to the toilet as you do before the flight at the airport, and I noticed a man dressed in a pilot's uniform, very possibly a pilot. It was unnerving that he was in fact crying his eyes out.
You don't want a crying
which
pilot.
made me very nervous about the flight indeed. Thank you for bringing such a lot of happiness to people's lives." That's it. But I love that story.
Crying pilot. That's no good at all. I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to fly a plane
And
if you're
cry.
crying. Don't cry. Do your crying in the cockpit.
We're not allowed anymore.
Get the air. Yeah, in the olden days as well. Cockpit was just, anyone can go up. You want to go? Yeah, come on, have a ciggy. Come and join us in the cockpit for a ciggy.
You got that?
There you go, son. How old are you? No. Have you ever been in a cockpit? Have a ciggy. Look at that. Yeah, play on the control. Have another ciggy. That one's run down. There you go, son. Look at that. Press the button. No, it doesn't matter. It's all right. We'll regain the altitude later. Have another ciggy. No, come back. What's that, a gun? Oh, it's a nice gun, isn't it? Don't flash it around. People will get nervous. All right, you better go back to your seat, son. We're going to land soon. Bye, have a ciggy. That's what it was like in 1970 when I used to go on planes. It was much better. Happy days. Here's a story now from Lee. He's typing with a broken arm.
Oh, wow, Lee.
From Slough. So this, I imagine, took a very long time. Dear A&E, I was once travelling back from a trip to Seattle, crammed in economy class, which wasn't pleasant with it being a 10-hour flight and me being 6'4" tall. Before takeoff, an older gentleman at the front of our section appeared to have had a funny turn and slumped limply in his chair. The paramedics arrived and eventually they decided that even though he had come round and was feeling better, he wasn't well enough to fly on such a long journey. After letting him and his family off the plane, I noticed the ample leg room his vacant seat at the front afforded and decided that I had to have it. Having been sat on that plane for over an hour while the drama unfolded, and I was already quite uncomfortable. I could see one of the stewardesses approaching down the aisle and was just preparing to grab her attention and asked to move to the vacant seat when a guy 3 rows in front of me put up his hand and asked the same thing. I was furious when she said yes, not only because I wanted the legroom myself, but because the guy was significantly shorter than me, and he didn't need it nearly as much. He moved to the vacant seat while I glared deep into the back of his head. However, a few moments later, he stood up, turned round, and probably through shock, announced to no one in particular, I think the old man wet himself. It felt like sweet, sweet justice as he waddled uncomfortably back to his original seat. And all I could hear in my head was Dr. Buckles shouting, in your face, seat thief! Love you, bye! Lee, with broken arm. Thanks very much, Lee.
Brilliant. Nicholas has got a short one. Annoying man next to me jabbers on and on, ignoring all the usual clues that I am not interested in talking to you. Book, headphones, closed eyes. Meal was served, and I noticed the man of foreign origin is obviously not slightly perplexed and not obvious of the Baby Bell cheese. Other brands are available. I debate whether to tell him how to eat it, but decide to let him figure out himself. Enjoy every second of him chewing his way through the entire piece of cheese, red wax, and all. He was quiet for the rest of the way. Love you, bye, Nicholas.
Oh, poor Baby Bell man. I mean, maybe some people like it, though, with the waxy outer coating. You know, the way that some people show off about eating oranges with the peel on? I used to know a guy like that. Hey, Nick Cheek, how you doing, man?
Nick, is that his actual real name? Nick Cheek?
Cheeky boy. Cheeky boy used to eat the orange with the peel on and make a big song and dance about it. Look at me eating the orange. I love the peel. It tastes great.
No, it doesn't.
And he'd be wincing and stuff. I stop doing that, Cheek. Just peel it.
Keep your stories coming in from Memory Bank. I'm going to play you something new from a band called Balthazar. This is called The Oldest of Sisters. Absolutely love this.
David Bowie, Scary Monsters.
He sounds so different in that song.
Well, he's doing his silly comedy Cockney accent there, isn't he? It's not my favourite track from Scary Monsters, I have to say. Very good, obviously. Enjoy it. I love it. That was selected by
Power Gold. Oh, it's Power Gold here. Yeah, I'm on the computer that selects the music for the shows, and I know you like Bowie, so I'll put a Bowie song on there for you. It's the worst song off the album. I thought you'd enjoy it.
Must try harder next time, Power Gold.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, listeners? Adam and Edith here. You know what? We've got made-up jokes coming up.
Yes, a ridiculous response from people after you talked about it last week.
Yeah. As I said, you know, cornballs used to empty regular buckets of scorn on the made-up jokes section, but I always enjoyed it. I mean, the thing was that people were tickled as well by the children's jokes. Which they were half made up and half just sort of mangled jokes, you know what I mean?
Just thoughts.
Yeah, and they came from this website, at least the ones I found, came from this website on Tumblr, Bad Kids Jokes, it's called, all one word, so you can find it for yourselves. But I'll be reading out a few more of my favourite ones after Paul Weller. And I have a message here as well from someone again on the hamster tip, which seems
the hamster is rolling, isn't it?
With people, yeah. This is from Jim and Charlotte. Hamster Hammy Schwartzman escaped, jumped down around 4 foot from the cupboard his cage was on, and we found him in the oven. Luckily, we didn't turn the oven on.
Ooh.
Love the show. What's he doing in the oven? How did he get in the oven?
How did he get in there as well?
Presumably the door was closed or what? I don't know. I mean, that begs more questions.
It's another one of those domestic things of leaving the dishwasher doors and the oven doors.
Right, maybe
Let's not go
was
there.
One of those things, yeah.
Kelly in Sheffield says, FYI, for your information,
Sure.
a girl at my school used to eat opal fruits with the wrappers on. She said she couldn't be bothered to unwrap them and that the wrappers just melt in your mouth. Fact. It's not fact. It's not sugar paper. They're not wrapped in sugar paper.
Well, that's a good idea.
In plastic.
Yeah. They're wrapped in waxy plastic even.
It's just wrong. Wrong.
To make your mouth water. Give them a lift with cocaine.
Made up jokes coming up next after Paul Weller. Paul Weller is going to be with Sean on Monday.
Lucky Sean.
In the album Sonic Kicks. Good album, actually.
It is good, isn't it? Yeah. Lucky Sean to have the angry mod eyes of Paul Weller boring into his face.
Is he angry?
He's furious.
Really? What about
just
hamsters?
Everything. I mean, I met him once and he didn't like me. So, mainly me.
Angry
Furious
at you.
about, yeah. Imagine if I turned up at Sean Keaveney's place. Hey, I just thought I'd say hi again. Still, guess who's probably going to see Paul Weller's Netherlands? Hi! Good to see you. I love your stuff. Yes. Brilliant album. Oh, wow. Look at you. That's impressive. Okay, bye. Just speculating. So listen, it's time for made up jokes. Have you got the jingle, Ed? Fire it off.
I'm a funny person, I often make up jokes. My jokes are more amusing than those of other folks. When you hear my joke, I think you'll find that you agree. Come on, you're invited to a made-up joke party.
Twitter is a good conveyance medium for these made-up jokes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to give out my Twitter details because it's not a sort of officially BBC endorsed one, but you can probably find me.
Your name's Adam Buxton, isn't it?
Yeah,
in real life.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you can always let me know your jokes there. But if you would like to send them through official channels, Adam and Edith at bbc.co.uk, or you can text them. I would say email is best, especially if you're doing it throughout the week.
Yeah.
For these made-up jokes.
Tweet us now if you want, at BBC Six Music.
Yep. Or text on that or any other subject, 64046. Here's one just to get things going from Johnny Cates. Johnny Cates, I think, not Johnny Cakes.
That's better.
Yeah, Johnny Cates. He says, why did the bank manager go on holiday to the Costa del Sol? Edith.
I don't know. Why did the bank manager?
Because you can get a Santander. A Santander. Santander. Like the bank. Santander is what it sounds like. Santander. You can get a Santander.
Back to the drawing board, I'd say.
What?
Cake man.
Very rude.
Will Johnson says, my made-up joke. 2 Irish men called Patrick are discussing new Apple products. Patrick A. Have you heard of the... I'm not going to do an Irish accent. Have you heard of the new Apple tablet that always agrees with us Irish? Patrick B. iPaddy.
Nice.
That's good.
Is that racist?
Oh, come on.
Even referring to the Irish is racist, I think. And here's another one from Finley Marks, again via Twitter. He says, who said, I pity the flu? B.A. Barocas. I pity the flu. I pity the flu. B.A. Barocas. Because you sometimes take Barocca if you've got the flu to boost your immune system. Although that's not proven to be effective.
Oh,
I quite like that one.
I quite like that one.
I pity the flu.
Yeah, that's better.
I didn't throw myself into it. That's good, man. Thanks, Findley Marks.
Hey! Daniel says, dear Buckles Editherling. Buckles Editherling. Yeah, I'm a 32, a he-male from London. I would like to submit the following made-up joke. What do you call a trucker with a profitable sideline in after-dinner speaking?
I don't know.
An articulate lorry driver. An articulate lorry driver. I think he'd be happy with it.
That one approached from a long way away as well. You can hear the pre-blast.
Yeah.
Right, should we get into these children's jokes?
Shall we?
Come on, let's do it.
Right, I got my small child to do some.
Yeah, this is Rudy, right? How old is Rudy?
4.5.
4.5.
And he really likes trying to make people laugh, and hasn't quite grasped the idea of punchlines. Sometimes he has. He remembers a few jokes that he's been told or read in comics and stuff.
Punchlines are yesterday, guy.
Yeah, well, here's one. Here's the first one. So this is joke number 1.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Gorilla.
Gorilla who?
Gorilla chicken egg sandwich, please. Can I hear it?
That's what they always want to hear it back, don't they? Yeah. That was brilliant. Can I just play that? Can I just play that back? So gorilla...
It's supposed to be a gorilla cheese sandwich.
Yes.
But he's a big fan of chicken legs in a minute. So decided to insert his favourite food type in a minute.
Very good. Has he got another one?
Yeah, we got another one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Moss.
Moss who?
Moss man.
That is excellent. That's a classic joke.
Yeah, last one.
Knock.
Who's there?
Mum.
Thinking about it.
Mum who?
Mum doctor.
A lady doctor. That in itself is amusing. A lady doctor. Good effort, Rudy. That's excellent, Matt. Moss Man is my favourite. A man entirely made of moss. A moss man. Hey, a moss. The moss man from the IT crowd. Well, here is just to get things going with the other children's jokes from Bad Kids Jokes on Tumblr. Here is one of my favourites. Again, a knock-knock joke. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Wooden.
Wooden who?
Wooden poo. Okay, this is a good segue from Rudy's jokes. Question. What is a Jedi's favourite food?
Don't know. What's the Jedi's favourite food?
Lightsaber casserole. Right? I mean, that is brilliantly constructed. Here's a little play, a little story. This boy went to school. His teacher asked him, "What's your name?" The boy said, "I don't know." So that day he went to his mother and said, "What's my name?" So she said, "Can't you see I'm tidying up?" I think those are my favourites, the plays. Because I think they're supposed to be like those jokes where, you sort of said one thing and then you accumulate a load of little phrases and then the child repeats them back inappropriately at the end of the day. Can't you see I'm tidying up? It's so sort of sad at the same time.
We'll keep them coming in if you've got any, please. I'm
going to give you one more for the moment, and then I've got another little raft of them that we can float in the last half hour. But to conclude this section of made-up jokes, what's the difference between a chicken and a hippo?
I don't know what's the difference between a chicken and a hippo.
Because and this is how it's written: because a hippo doesn't lay fat, chubby eggs. Okay, more of those in the final half hour of the programme here on BBC Six Music.
Got some music from Peace, who did a cover of Mariah Carey, which is done in the style of Radiohead Creep. You're going to like this. Great band from Birmingham. So, here we go. This is Peace and All I Want for Christmas / Creep. Unknown Mortal Orchestra, Swim and Flee.
Good. I like that. Album for release in early 2013, apparently. Recently been touring with Grizzly Bear.
Great, you can use your coupons to buy that.
Use my coupons.
If you get some for Christmas.
That is right up my Strasser. Enjoyed that very much indeed. And folks, I want to as well encourage you to communicate with us during the week as well if you have any bad accent footage that you might like to share with us. You know, I love a bad accent on TV or film, whatever. Yeah. And it's something that Joe and I used to do quite a lot every now and again is drag out a bit of bad accent footage. And I found some good stuff the other day that I want to share with you. I could do a whole special on this one lady from Boardwalk Empire. If you're a regular Boardwalk Empire fan, you might know which one I mean, but I'm going to unveil that next weekend.
Great.
But it would be nice as well if there were any other clips that you're... can you think of any...
the obvious one for me is Keanu Reeves and Dracula.
Right, which
is pretty obvious.
One of my favourites is Brad Pitt in 7 Years in Tibet.
Yeah, Hugh McGregor's got quite a few as well.
What a handsome suit. It's such nice tweed. It's not that good even, his accent, I don't think.
There's loads. There's got to be loads there.
And what's he called? Ray Winston is always good for one.
What was what was the Departed? He was in The Departed with Jack Nicholson.
He also does a good pirate voice in this weird film that Joe really liked that he saw on a plane that's all sort of set in the tropics or something like that. Anyway, so if you do have any good bad accents to share with us, then send them along, tweet them or email them to us, Adam and Edith at bbc.co.uk. And we still have a half an hour to go, during which time we will be sharing some more made-up jokes with you and a few more stories from our memory bank, which is about air travel this week.
We'll be replaying our Song Wars, and also we have a gift for you in the shape of a Adam and Edith Christmas card, which we'll tell you about after we get some news from Harvey Cook.
Blondie with Hanging on the Telephone. Adam Buxton and Edith Bowman here on BBC Six Music this Saturday afternoon it is now, isn't it? Yeah.
Getting hungry
Liz
now.
Kershaw is coming up at 1 o'clock, but we've still got a few more minutes with you here, and we are going to wrap up Memory Bank.
Time for some stories you deposited in the memory bank. The memory bank. The memory bank. Ooh, I'm sorry about your very overdrawn.
Here's a story from Paul in Cambridge, and was a sort of vignette, really. He says, I spent 4 hours on tarmac at SeaTac Airport. Where's SeaTac Airport? This is all kind of written in text code. Spent 4 hours on tarmac at SeaTac Airport as plane was slightly broken and spare part couldn't be found, even though Boeing factory is next door. Even though Boeing factory is next door, plane was slightly broken. Was past midnight when they gave up and let us off the plane. It took a very long time to get the whole 747 back through immigration. The passengers, that is, not the actual plane. When there was only one booth open. Eventually, my usually timid dad defied the tensor barriers. That's what they're actually called, apparently. The poles with retractable strings on. With a cry of, "The triumph of lemmings over bureaucracy!" That's from Paul in Cambridge. I don't know why I chose to read that out. It's a good message, Paul. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that I didn't do it. I did it a disservice by not reading it properly. But I salute your dad for shouting in those kinds of situations, something like that. "The triumph of lemmings over democracy!" Sir, could you come this way, please? What? You're just going to have to sit in this boring room now for 4 hours while we ask you pointless questions.
You won't be arriving at your destination.
Yeah.
Stuart and Liphook has sent this in, a long-time listener. He says, well, obviously not to this show, but obviously your show, previous. "My father-in-law used to be a pilot for a few major airlines and often regales us with tales from his flying days. One story he told me about a colleague of his stands out as it's almost unbelievable. You be the judge. One day, whilst on a long-haul flight, London to Hong Kong, if I recall correctly, the door of the cockpit opened and the pilot started walking out backwards, very carefully unravelling 2 bits of string that were clearly fastened to something in the cockpit.
What?
Keeping the string taut, he cautiously approached the first passenger, gave them the bits of string, and the pilot then said, "I'm just popping to the loo, so if you could just hold these tightly, that'd be great. Just keep them taut and steady until I get back. Won't be long." With that, he walked down the aisle to the lavvy. When he was finished, he collected the 2 bits of string from the apparently terrified passenger, who was still holding them tightly, and carefully walked back into the cockpit, being sure to always keep the string tight and taut. Upon landing, the passenger complained, and needless to say, the pilot got the old heave-ho. If true, this pilot's loss was comedy's gain. Stuart Liphook.
Wow. Well, I hope that's true.
Me too. It's a great story.
I mean, it would be sad if that was apocryphal. Mind you, that is quite a stupid pilot, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously...
He's just trying to lighten the mood.
Obviously, he's going to be... But you see, back in the 70s, that was absolutely fine.
He'd have had a fag whilst he was on the way to the toilet.
I'm just having a ciggy. Could you hold on to these, please?
Whilst he had down in a little miniature of brandy.
That's not a problem. Hey, thank you so much for all your stories.
Yeah,
very much appreciated all those throughout the week and this weekend. We'll do our best to announce the subject for next week's Memory Bank on the podcast.
Indeed.
Which you can download later tonight. But right now, we've got Temples for you.
And Shelter Song. Very much loving Temples and Shelter Song. That's the debut single from them. They're from the Midland.
Are they?
Yes.
It's very retro sounding in a good way, though. I like it.
It's
very
awesome.
Good. So yes, we had Song Wars. If you weren't listening earlier today, listeners, we unveiled our Song Wars efforts, myself and Edith, in full. They were songs about hotels, and we're going to play you a short selection of both of those songs now, just to remind you. Last time we started with mine, so this time we're going to start with Edith's.
What?
And this is Edith's song called Fish and Chips.
I was born in the cocktail bar of a little hotel. I guess that's why I turned out how I did. But it wasn't just any random hotel. It was known for the best fish and chips. Oh, fish and chips, fish and chips. That's why everything I eat is fried. I spent all my time making fish and chips. Being healthy and it's got ain't easy, I've tried. And there we go.
Sweet harmony sound of Edith Bowman with Fish and Chips. And here is a taste of my one, which is called Boutique Hotel.
1, 2, 3. I'm traveling Trans-Europe to London this weekend. I have a gallery opening I'm expected to attend. I will not stay with friends, I need my private space. But a normal hotel is just too boring a place. I don't want somewhere swanky, just wanky's good for me. Somewhere that's idiosyncratic, that's why you see I'm going to spend a weekend in a boutique hotel. Katy Perry states I once Jake Gyllenhaal.
There you go. That's Boutique Hotel by Adam Dr. Buckley's Buxton. Music by Stuart Earle. And those songs are going up on the website. I think they're up there now, in fact, aren't they? Oh, no, they'll be up in a few hours anyway. So you can listen to them throughout the week if you're not listening live. And
every day.
Vote for them and listen to them every day. They'll also be in the podcast as well, of course. And I imagine they'll be in the charts by the end of the week. Because they're both very, very good.
You need to let us know, though, which is your favourite, because by next weekend there has to be a winner.
Exactly. Best thing to do is vote via email, adamandedith@bbc.co.uk. Just put Song Wars and then the name of the person who you would like to win in the header of the email to make them easier to count.
That would be Adam or Edith.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We have got some more made-up jokes coming your way after this track, which is my free play.
Yeah, why have you picked this?
UB40. What's your favourite UB40 song, Edith?
Don't really know that much.
Come on.
UB40. Red Wine.
Red wine. You disgust me! I knew you'd say red wine. Everyone says red wine. Not me, because I'm so unpredictable. No, you know what? I don't really know that much UB40 myself, but I do know this one from their first album. In fact, I think this was their first single, double A-side with the track King. This was the first indie label song to make the UK top 10.
Wow.
I think in 1980. Released on Graduate Records. And I think this song is also regularly played at Birmingham City FC home matches.
Are you there a lot?
Not really. And the main tune is sung by the supporters during the matches.
I love that.
Fun football facts for football fans like me who love sport and balls. But I love this song. It's beautifully produced by Bob Lamb, very sort of minimal and atmospheric and melancholy. And I think it's about this time of year, especially the plight of poor people across the world, you know. Spare a thought for those people. Spare a thought for people sleeping rough during these unbelievably cold, brutal nights. And that's what this song makes me think about. This is food for thought. That's almost too good.
Great tune, great choice.
That wobbly guitar solo there as well. It's just brilliant. It's a masterpiece. UB40, food for thought. Adam and Edith here on BBC Six Music. Now, if you go to the Six Music website, is it the website or the Facebook page or both?
Both.
Then not only will you be able to hear our Song Wars songs again, and you will also be able to see the amazing cartoon adventures of the Adam and Edith Bears, because we've been sending them home, these little figures, knitted figures, versions of ourselves. We've been sending them home with listeners for the last few weeks. And last week they went to stay with a cartoonist, very talented artist called Ryan Bayliss from Ipswich.
Who wrote them into a cartoon, and you can, we've voiced the cartoon that he wrote. And it's up on the Facebook page and on the Six Music website.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Thanks so much, Ryan. You can also see the official Adam and Edith Christmas card, which has been designed by friend of the show, James Hood. James designed some great pictures for us while we were on air, me and Joe, last year. And he's a very talented man, and he's done a really nice Christmas card for us, which you can download.
For free.
For free. You know, on Monday, I think there's even going to be a more fancy PDF version that you can download. But right now, you can just grab the image and save it, right-click on it, and print the heck out of it and send it to your pals.
Christmas cards are expensive things. So, you know, save that money, go to the pub, and print out the Christmas card.
I mean, one has to think, what kind of reception would it get?
I'm going to print it out.
If you sent it to like someone that didn't really know you or the show, why have you sent me this card with Merry Christmas Adam and Edith on it with a picture of Santa riding a motorbike
Christmas pudding fixings,
where the wheels are made out of Christmas puddings, made to look like Adam
looks so much like you.
It's a very good drawing. But anyway, I think it's a lovely card, so do what you will with it. You know, maybe if you're an unpopular person, you could print it out and pretend someone sent it to you. That's what I'll be doing.
I'm actually going to use it and send it to people, so if any of my friends or family are listening, then you can expect that. It's free. I'm cheap. But yeah, so do that if you'd like to. Do you know where the Bears are off to this weekend?
Are you going to all tomorrow's parties?
Yes! I'm so jealous of our knitted figures.
That'd be amazing.
Bonkers with Danielle Wade
Lucky.
From London, who's hoping to introduce them to my favourite band in the world ever, The National. Crikey.
Dark are also playing there. Deerhoof, I love
Like
Deerhoof. Deerhoof more or less live at all tomorrow's parties, I think.
They love Butlins.
So we're going to find out how they got on next weekend. Do we have time for one more track and then, or not?
We're going to wrap up.
A couple more. Send you on your way with a couple more made up jokes.
Yeah. I've got a couple here. Shall I give you this one?
Blast the jingle at our faces. Just
here
one
we go.
more time.
One more time, made up jokes. Where are you? Yes, here
to
we go.
delineate.
I'm a funny person, I often make up jokes. My jokes are more amusing than those of other folks. When you hear my joke, I think you'll find that you agree. Come on, you're all invited to a made-up joke party.
Ooh, right, thanks to Steve in Epsom, and sorry for this one. Dear Adamalot and then Edith Arendt. Previous years when Adamalot, sorry.
It's like Camelot.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sorry, Edith.
Adamalot.
Didn't mean to pull you up in that brusque way.
It's fine, I'm hungry. And in previous years, when my bandmate Russ and I were on our way to band practice, lots of hours spent on the A3 towards Guildford. We'd each come up with a joke on the spot without hesitation. The funniest creation was the winner. No prizes, just to take in part. One of my most cherished creations was thus: why don't they sew in Antarctica?
I don't know. Why don't they sew in Antarctica?
Because they can't make the penguin. The penguin.
Yeah, but you don't sew with a pin.
Penguin.
You sew with a needle.
Penguin.
I mean, I suppose pins are involved with some forms of sewing.
Needles. Pins and needles.
Yeah.
Penguin. He says it at least deserves one of those, so you've already given it. He's a happy man. He is a happy man.
Thanks for that, though.
Yeah. Take care, much love, hugs, kisses, and other signs of affection, he says as well.
Who's that?
That was Steve Coleman from Epsom in Surrey.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, I've got a couple of children's ones from Bad Kids Jokes, the Tumblr website, just to send you on your way before we bid you farewell and welcome Liz Kershaw into the studio. I think
Captain
she's
Sensible.
talking to Captain Sensible. There's a picture of her and Captain Sensible on the website where Sensible looks like a slimmer Ted Danson. You know what I mean? Like late period Ted Danson with white hair and very dashing. I did not recognise him as Sensible.
Or the guy who does Lily Savage. What's his name?
Paul
O'Grady.
O'Grady, yes. Yeah. Again, a more handsome version of... I mean, even though Paul O'Grady is obviously a devastatingly handsome man, even more handsome version of Paul O'Grady. So there you go. That's coming up on Liz's show. But a couple more kids' jokes just to send you on your way today. Steal yourself. This one is called Kebab. And it just says this. And most of it's capitalised, which is why I'm going to shout. There was woman who wanted a beef kebab. And the girl... got her a cartoon of milk and a chicken kebab. Lol.
Not even an attempt.
She wanted a beef kebab. Just to recap, she wanted a beef kebab, but the girl got her a cartoon of milk and a chicken kebab. Lol. And finally today... finally today, again, this is capitalised. This is called Uncle. Who likes being gay and snogging the girls? Answer. My ridiculous Uncle Edward.
Oh, keep them coming in.
Snogin, spelled S-N-O-G-I-N.
Snogin.
Who likes snogging girls? Oh, it's my ridiculous Uncle Edward. Folks, thank you so much for listening and for contacting the show if you have done. But if you haven't, listen, that's totally cool.
It's all right.
It's no problems. Either way is cool. We're cool. It's all cool.
Get involved now. Download our Christmas cards, and the podcast will be up a little bit later on this afternoon.
Have a great week. Take care of yourselves. I love you. Bye!